This is Sam from 98225J Bellingham Robotics, and just doing an explanation of the world's robot for over-under. So start with the drivetrain. We ran 6 motors, 450 RPM on 3.25-inch wheels. Pretty nice for barrier cross, just because we had like a whole coverage of the drivetrain that could like push the bot over. Steel bracing for the torsion. It's very good for that. Keeps the bot nice and straight. We got the tank down low for center of gravity. Got the brain in the back, pretty low, custom brain cover. Shout out to Owen from 98225F. You're awesome. And then the the battery mount, super janky on the PTO, which we'll get to later. But it's the only spot we could fit it. Got inertial. I'm just running one because. And then sleds. We got metal sleds because at Worlds, all of the plastic ones broke during our first 5 matches. Like even all of the spares we brought, and they just look like this. It's the last one we have. And they were tangent to the wheel and all, but the new ones work just as good as the old ones. And we just have these ball bearings here to get around the corner of the C channel because I had to make these in the hotel. Got wall riders on both sides just to not get caught in the walls. Super nice. Triangle brace standoffs, keep the whole drivetrain together. These are super nice as well. And then we were just running 3-hole gap, and you can see we have no spacer in the middle because we didn't need one. These never slid and hit the wheels at all. Don't know why, just never got them. So that was great. Yeah, and now going to the wings next. So now onto the wings. We got front and back wings, and the front wings we run off of 25mm pistons, double acting. Really squeezed in there. You can see we cut away a ton of stuff, trimmed down the intake. It like barely rests above the pistons. And the front wings are a little special. They're kind of normal that they have this wedge here, just to push the tri-balls over the barrier, pretty standard. But they also have a hinge. So when we drive backwards and the wings get caught in the barrier, the wings will flex back and then just go back to its original position. And that just prevents stress in the system and prevents like the plastic from cracking and breaking off, which we had issues in a couple comps. So that was nice, just to eliminate a single point failure. The back wings, we use them mainly just for descoring the corner ball for like auto win point and maybe sometimes in match, but we didn't really run skills, so we didn't use them that much. But yeah, we just 50mm piston, I think, single acting to save a little bit of air, and almost as wide as the goal. So yeah, those are pretty nice too. So onto the intake. We mounted it with these brackets down here, and we only mounted it on one side because we needed the wing to be able to go all the way into the drivetrain, just so we weren't super wide. And we boxed the heck out of this bracket here so that the screw never bent, and it did never bend. It was super sturdy, super strong. Never failed us during match. So that was pretty nice. We just used the long kind of style intake with the sleds, so when we go to score, it lifts the intake up out of the way. So just the bot is shoving the acorn in. Super effective. Flex wheels, 2 motor, because we weren't running kicker, and just 600 RPM direct. So we had like a ton of strength because squeezing the tri-ball in our intake was a little bit tight. So we just needed that extra strength. That's why I didn't go 1200. Got the trap door. It's mounted down here, kind of loose. You just put the tri-ball on it, sucks it out, but it won't let it go back in. And this is super nice for 1x1s because you could just pop the tri-ball in there, drive across the field and score it, and it wouldn't pop out of the intake or anything. And it was super consistent in all the matches. And the final thing on the intake, got Lightning McQueen from our sister team, 98225F. They had a Lightning McQueen bot, and they didn't make it a world, so we put this on here for good luck. So now onto the hang. We got kind of a interesting hang setup here, based off of Reboot, one of the first high hang bots from, I think it was Pikes Peak. We got a high hang hook up here, just a standoff, and then these guides, which look pretty jank, but they didn't break at all. And we also have a C-tier hang with these ball bearings. And this is what most people saw. They thought we just had a C-tier bot, which is kind of funny, but we actually had both, which made us really good for partnering, because we could partner with any bot basically and still get like the maximum amount of hang points possible. So yeah, how we deploy the hang is we got this horizontal piston straight there. There's the piston head between these two pillow blocks, and you can see the zip tie just is attached to the lift structure, and that's just held down. So when you activate it, it releases, and this whole stage comes up with rubber bands like that. Kind of weak right now because they've been on there for so long, but yeah, it just goes up, reaches the bar, hook in there at the standoff, and then we winch ourselves up. This flag, also from our sister team, we put it on here just so whenever we climb, we're raising the flag on the pole. It's kind of funny. I don't know. The PTO is kind of unique because it's not a sliding PTO. It's actually a drop-down PTO. So you can see this gear here is on this lever arm from the support structure. And how we release it is we have this vertical piston, and this is the piston head here. And you can see these zip ties go down, and they just hold the the winch up, and you can see it's banded down. And when you drop it, it looks like this. That just lets go. That clamps down. And to prevent the lever arm from being pulled up under the tension of the string, we have this like passive hook system that like slides over the winch arm, and that keeps it locked down. And you can see here, it's kind of hard. You can't really pull the gear up that much. So it worked pretty well. And that just like passively deploys when the whole thing drops down, and then all the gears are engaged. Probably should have run sliding PTO, but I wanted to try something different, which is kind of fun. Battery is mounted on a standoff, and we drilled out the center of the battery clips just to fit it in there. And the ratchet, it's kind of my favorite ratchet I built. Super reliable, just a standoff going straight into the gear. Make sure you get the flat spot of the standoff, not the corner into the gear, and they're super reliable, never break. And we just had one on both sides for security, but they work just singular as well. So yeah, then we just drive forward, and the winch goes down a little bit, and it takes us about probably 4 seconds to get all the way up, just because we're running 450 RPM on the winch. We didn't want to try 600 just because we were almost out of time, and the way, well, when we catted it, we just catted it with a 48 tooth gear, so didn't want to change anything that much before Worlds. So for a C-tier configuration, we'd add this string, and it just hooks on to the lift here and here, and it goes all the way around the back of the bot. So when you activate it, it's only allowed to go up to this far, so perfect height for the bar. And then these standoffs help ramp the bot up on the bar, and then it's kind of this, like, this hook part to keep it in there. And then you just keep driving straight forward while you're on the bar, and press where you activate the PTO, and it just drives straight down like this, and it's all the way down. And it's really fast. In testing, we got it to like a second to lift, which is like just barely slower than a 4-piston lift, which is kind of nice. And then again, the ball bearings just help it to auto balance C-tier. Never failed. So yeah, that's how we do C-tier. So to wrap up the video, I'm just gonna be going over kind of the one-off things in our bot. Kind of don't have a category. So like we have these zip ties for auto endpoint that just touch the bar. And when we run far side autos, we tuck them under, so we don't get SG11'd when we're playing on underneath our opponent's bar on the left side alley, which is kind of nice. Rubber band and zip tie floor and bands for the intake, just so the ball doesn't fall out when we travel across the barrier, which is super nice, just for 1x1s and mobility. 3D printed plates, these are kind of cool. Yeah, just pretty simple, mounted on the intake, look nice. Got these handles in the back. They act as handles, band mounts, counterbalance because of the steel for the C tier, and goal bumpers so our sleds don't cross under the goal and autons and potentially lose us the like auto bonus or win point. So yeah, kind of fun multi-purpose thing there. We have an excessive use of shaft collars. I love these things. They are my favorite part. I use them like almost everywhere I can. Piston heads, all that stuff. Nice stuff. We have this really funny boxed piece of C-channel for a support, runs all the way across the bot. The intake lands down on it. It's used to mount the intake bracket. This is on it, the inertial. The trapdoor is on it, and it's just super integrated. It's kind of hard to put together, but it ended up coming out really nice, and it's actually, I think, a little bit stronger than just a standard C-channel for like bracing your robot, because it's a little bit thicker with the like spacer boxing and all that. So that's kind of nice. Standoff braces, these are awesome because you can get them at any angle and any distance, and you don't have to worry about lining it up with the C-channel holes. And more shaft collars, they're great. And finally, the double radio, I highly recommend. It looks funny, but it actually works super well. We got the idea from 338A Iterated, from their like mid-season bot or something. And when one disconnects, the other one will just auto connect in about 3 seconds. So you only lose like a couple seconds if you DC in a match, and you don't hopefully end up winning that instead of losing because it's a 1v2. So that was kind of nice. We ran 3 at States because we didn't know which one was broken. And I think the only time they've DC'd recently was like practice at States. But other than that, they've been pretty fine. But yeah, these things can disconnect if people hit you too hard or just for like wire connections. So it's just nice to have two. And with that, there's the over-under bot. Thanks for watching, and see y'all on the high stakes.